They are not individual learners. They are working with one another. They are not always chosen by our teachers. For example, one particular learning pathway has been for our new writing program, being a writer. So while we encourage our teachers to choose pathways, there have been and will be times that we develop the pathways with them in order to meet our curriculum and instruction goals. So here we thought it would be interesting for you to see some of the pathways that we've implemented this past year, actually. Exploring new art, meeting the needs of gifted students, social skills. You'll see that it isn't singular. It goes across all curricular areas, using technology for data collection and analysis, best practices in writing. And we, again, being a writer, you see that up there, that was something that we provided for the teachers, but these other topics teachers thought of on their own because it matters to them. So they will continue to grow. There are pathways that are started last year that will continue this year. There'll be more pathways added to this year's sessions, and we are learning and growing together as a team. Another way that we provide professional learning is through blogging. Our technology integrators have created Thursday 3s for K-5 teachers and Friday 5s for 6-12 teachers. So on a weekly basis, our teachers receive these blogs, and they're short versions about topics that we have been using, or strategies that we're using, tools that we're using. It could be a quick video on how to use Seesaw. It could be an update on Canvas for Friday 5. So weekly, we provide that update for our teachers. And then what's really nice about that too is the teachers can go back and review that as necessary. Okay. Last year, and not just last year, over the past several years at the high school, we have had Ed Camp sessions. So Ed Camp is a really creative way to provide professional learning for our teachers. It's teacher-driven, it's administrator-driven. It is a topic that you feel comfortable about, that you would like to share with your colleagues. So they run maybe 15, 20-minute sessions, and this example is at the high school. So you literally decide that this is something that you would like to share with your colleagues, and you post your session. The rest of the staff look at a board, and they see all the sessions, and then they choose 3 or 4 sessions that they want to attend during the day. So it offers that flexibility, and again, you'll hear personalization on what will most help me be effective in the classroom. Last summer, we actually had an escape the room in the elementary, for the elementary teachers, and it was really fun and fabulous. It was creative and innovative. It was a math escape room. I don't know, I think pretty much everybody knows what escape the rooms are, and you have to go through all the clues to get out of the room. And some of us got out and some of us didn't. And I'll give credit to Joan Kaleza, our STEM supervisor for the elementary level. She actually created that escape the room. But I do believe that was fun at the end of the year to celebrate with each other and learn with each other. And it's a great way to end the school year. And it really exemplifies problem solving. So we were problem solving, and they're the same things that we expect our teachers to do with our students. Our middle school STEM teachers, as we have developed this program, for the last 2 summers have been able to participate in really intense training at the Northampton Community College Fab Lab. So those teachers have taken the time over the summer, and you'll see that the teachers in there from North, Central, and South, and they have taken intensive coursework to improve their skills to continue to make our STEM program exemplary. As you know, we have Canvas at the high school. It's fully implemented at the high school for students and teachers, and this year we moved into the middle school. What I wanted to bring to your attention is the tiered instruction that we have incorporated, and this instruction we have found works really well. Instead of a one-size-fits-all training for our teachers, we've done it in 3 tiers. So you could feel really comfortable. You may happen to know how to use Canvas. You can have your individual training. You can follow that training and do that training on your own. You could need some help. You could learn from a teacher colleague who has some training, and you can sit with a group of teachers and learn together. Or you can say, you know what, I really need one-on-one training. I really need to have the tech integrator right in front of me, and I need to learn from her, or I need to learn from him. So the teachers had an option, and we found that to be the most beneficial way for our teachers to learn Canvas, and not just Canvas, but any district-wide initiative that we put through. We do believe that the flexibility of tiered instruction has been most beneficial to our teachers. And finally, for me, 21st Century Learning Night happens the Tuesday after Memorial Day. We are going into our 5th year. It's our 5th year anniversary this year. Just mark that on your calendars. This is such a fantastic night. It has grown tremendously, where all of the learning that we have done this year with our students and our staff and our administrators, we all come together and celebrate that and demonstrate that for the community. So I encourage you all to come out for our 5th annual one this year in May. I think Dr. Price is going to talk a little bit about what's trending now.
So we won't go through each of these just for time's sake, but we wanted you to see some of the things that staff are working on right now with students. If you hadn't had a chance to see these in action, these are some things that if you start this with your child at home, you could wrap up lots of hours. They're good summer activities. Dr. Shine and I had a chance at the IU when the Ozobots were just becoming popular, and we learned to make these robots to program them to follow color. And it's in capturing for adults just like it is for students, that's for sure. But these are also other great examples of ways that we tie our mission statement and link it between our teachers and our students. An extension of our mission statement is for our students to become lifelong learners. And our continuous professional development for staff needs to connect to that. So we want our staff's professional development to be continuous and timely and ongoing as well, so we all together can grow and become lifelong learners.
Can we go back to that really? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Just really quickly. I want to Peg Volak is in the audience, so I just want to, Peg Volak is one of our teachers. She's right here. And she started the Seesaw Social at Penn Ridge last year. So teachers from the county came to Penn Ridge to collaborate with ideas, and we have our next social here at Penn Ridge on October 6th. So thank you, Peg.
And we also don't want to forget talking about our support staff, and particularly the information here is for our TAs and our PCAs primarily. But our professional learning for them is based on these 10 standards that come from PDE. And I won't read them all to you, but you can see it's lots of the same topics and initiatives that we want our teachers to also have. The state requires 20 hours minimum for this group of staff members. Penn Ridge, we provide 5 days at this point. And we spread those days out. And right now, this year, there's 3 days that occurred in August. There's a day coming up on Columbus Day in October. And then January 28th is another day in the winter. So that's the 5 days this year. That's all I wanted to say about that. So just to kind of bring this together in our theme of lifelong learners, none of this would happen, none of this would be possible without some great presenters and planners. And Dr. Shine, I'm sure you want to touch on that.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone in the curriculum department, our supervisors, and our coordinators, and our technology integrators. But I really want to thank the teacher leaders. We have teacher leaders out here tonight. We have teacher leaders in our district who are phenomenal. They come out and share their expertise. They come and ask about STEM Camp, EDU, all kinds of opportunities. They want to learn more. They want to learn more, and they want to share with each other. So thank you to the entire curriculum department and the teacher leaders of Penn Ridge School District. Thank you very much.
Dr. Shine and Dr. Price, thank you very much for giving that brief overview of some of the wonderful things that have happened over the last month and a half here as we began school. It is just really important that we highlight that, because one of our key missions is obviously hiring and maintaining and training quality teachers so that they can in turn impact all the students in their classroom. And so I wanted to just the community to have a sense for how hard the supervisors and the teacher leaders have been working over the last month and a half as we begin a new school year. So thank you for that. Finally, I want to provide 2 updates moving forward. One, I want to provide an update on the graduation survey that was discussed during the recent Activities Committee meeting earlier in the month. We are in the process of preparing an introductory video and survey that will be viewed by all high school students during their English class on October 3rd, so a week and a half from now. The video will provide answers to the students and to those questions that students may have when making their choice about where they want graduation to be held. The survey will then be made available to them in class that day, but will also remain open until October 12th for those students who need more time or who might be absent on October 3rd. The video will also be made available to parents, along with a survey that will also be sent out on the afternoon of October 3rd. The information from both students and parents will then be considered, and a recommendation will be made at the Activities Committee meeting on November 5th. Finally, I want to make an announcement that all board committee meetings will be returning to the board conference room, which is where those of you who have been here for a while, they have been held in the not-so-distant past. It is the building that's on the first, it's the room that's on the first floor of the district administrative offices beginning in October. Only the monthly board meetings will be continued to held in this space. That's being done primarily for 2 reasons. One, we are sitting in an academic space. The orchestra uses this. And so it eliminates those evenings that we need to break down and set up. It eats into their orchestra time as they help do that process last thing every day and then first thing tomorrow morning. It also will still provide an adequate space for both community members who would like to attend from that. So beginning in October, all of the board committee meetings will be held in the board conference room, and we'll announce that as we get close to the first one. The last part of the superintendent's report of the agenda is the donations, and I'd like to recognize them at this time. There were 3 in the past month. First is the donation of 100 earbuds with an approximate value of $500 that was from an anonymous source to Penridge Central Middle School to be used in the STEM classrooms. Second is a donation from a graduate, an art piece from former Penridge student Ryan Strickerwall to be displayed at the Penridge High School. And last, we want to recognize a Good Samaritan, Reed Mitchell, who organized a GoFundMe account and received donations from 27 donors as far away as Colorado and California, which then enabled the paying off of the outstanding Penridge School District lunch balances. So thank you to all of those individuals for their donations.
Thank you. And Dr. Price, several of us had the opportunity to go to Divler, including Dr. Bolton, to see their glow room and the little robots chasing the colors. And then at the IU board meeting, the adults got to try it. Let me tell you, the kids at Divler were much better at it than we adults were. So just throw that out there. Okay, the first committee report is the negotiating committee. Dr. Yarnell.
Thank you. Tonight represents the culmination of roughly 9 months of effort on the part of the negotiating committee, the board, and the association in reaching a collective bargaining agreement. That has been tentatively done. Assuming the board approves it tonight, it will be finalized. So I am going to make a motion that we approve the settlement agreement between the Penridge Education Association, the PEA, and the Penridge Board of School Directors effective July 1, 2018 through June 30th, 2023.
Okay, motion by Dr. Yarnell. Do I have a second? Who's first? Seconded by Mrs. Walters. Questions or comments from board members? No? Nobody? All right, I'll add a couple comments, because I haven't commented enough already. The professional development and the learning pathways that Dr. Price and Dr. Scheid were just talking about, one of the advantages that we're going to see with this contract are being able to prioritize those learning pathways and giving our teachers more control over their professional development time so that it's more effective. So that's one of the great highlights too. And so perfect timing for sharing that and giving the public a little bit of a view of what the learning pathways, what those look like. So the other thing I just wanted to mention, because there was a report that it was retroactive, and it's not actually retroactive when it starts July 1st, because their pay cycle is different. So their first workday at the beginning of the school year is actually on a different pay cycle, so it wasn't retroactive. So I just wanted to also point that out. So thank you. Any other questions or comments?
I just wanted to thank everybody that was on the negotiating team for all your hard work, and I think we have a great contract.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 9-0.
I'd like to make a brief comment. I walked in obviously late to this process, and so want to add my thanks to both teams. This was an incredibly professional and positive process, which is not always the case. We're very fortunate in Penridge that both sides had lots and lots of conversations about things, little and small and huge and great in the contract, and continue to do that professionally, continue to listen to each other, continue to have a process that really has created a fair contract, I think, both for the teachers and for the community. So I just really am appreciative of the number of hours and the conversations that both sides held, and want to thank both of the negotiating teams, both the Penridge Educational Association negotiating team, names were mentioned earlier, as well as the board negotiating team. So thank you very, very much, and congratulations.
Okay, the next committee report is activities. Mrs. Cullen?
Thank you. We have just a couple of motions tonight. The first one is a motion to approve overnight trips for Penridge High School and middle school teams and activities that may qualify for postseason competition/invitation that will require overnight stays and are recommended by the administration. And there are 7 of them listed there. PIAA postseason competition, the music competitions, council conferences, technology student association competitions, the FBLA state competition, and then winter invitational tournaments for basketball, girls and boys, wrestling, and winter track, and the last one is other competitions as a result of competition/merit, so your state competitions. That's the motion.
That's a motion. Okay. Moved by Mrs. Cullen. Do I have a second? Seconded by Mr. Kraus. Comments or questions from board members? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 9-0.
Sorry to read them all out, I just wasn't sure if everybody could see what they are. And the second motion is to approve an overnight trip request for Penridge High School students to attend the FBLA State Leadership Workshop on Sunday, November 4th, 2018 to Monday, November 5th, 2018 at the Kalahari Resort in Pocono Manor, Pennsylvania.
Okay, moved by Mrs. Cullen, seconded by Mrs. Dolan. Questions or comments from board members? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Motion passes 9-0.
Right, and our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, November 5th.
Thank you. And the next committee report is curriculum. Mrs. Cullen?
Thank you. We had discussion at the curriculum meeting about the AP Environmental Sciences textbook. And we originally were going to put it on this agenda, but between the time of that committee meeting and this meeting, the staff became aware of an ebook option. So to give students the most options for how they would like to learn, whether they want to use a textbook, a hard copy, or an ebook, do we want to have them both? We figured that it might be good to have discussion at the October October curriculum committee meeting. Am I missing anything, Dr. Shack?
No, you are not, Mrs. Cohen. That's exactly right. We'll have that discussion hopefully at the next curriculum meeting in October. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you. Our next meeting is scheduled for October 8th.
Thank you, Mrs. Cohen. The next committee report is facilities. Mrs. Dolan.
Sure, I have one motion this evening, and it's approval of obsolete items. They are transportation department, two-way radios to recycling, Grass Elementary School, TV, VCR, cart, desk to recycling, the high school various equipment, scrap metal, public surplus, Diabler Elementary textbooks to public surplus, Guth Elementary library reading log, South Middle School STEM equipment scrap to public surplus, District Administrative Office, typewriter, calculator, recycling, public surplus, and Bedminster Elementary School various equipment to scrap metal. So I'll make a motion to approve from A through H.
Okay, moved by Mrs. Dolan. Do I have a second? Seconded by Ms. Thompson. Questions or comments from board members? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 9-0.
Our next facilities meeting will be October the 9th.
Thank you. The next committee report is finance. I'll make a motion to approve contracts A through D. Do I have a second? Seconded by Mr. Kraus. Questions or comments from board members? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 9-0. The next motion, I'll make a motion to approve the settlement agreement for student identified as 2019-07. Do I have a second? Seconded by Mrs. Walters. Questions or comments from board members? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 9-0. And our next meeting is on October 9th, which again will be in the other, in the district office in the old boardroom. And the next committee report is the intermediate unit. The board met on, the IU board met on September 8th as well as October 16th. And there were just a few things I wanted to highlight. First of all, we have two pre-Ks, one at West Rock Hill Elementary and one at Diabler, and we still have a lot of open seats. So if you know anyone who has young kids who are looking to get into the pre-K class, have them apply. I believe, is there a link on our website? There was an email sent out
It went out this
today,
afternoon.
and you can email us if you need any direct information, and it's also on the IU website. Also, we just passed the teacher contract at the IU at our last board meeting, and it was also ratified. It was passed unanimously by the board, and it was ratified with 95% of the teachers ratifying it. So that was great, and it's also a great fair contract. They have a website where you can purchase apparel that helps benefit the IU, so feel free to go on their website and get some apparel. They started an advocacy committee, which is made up of board members as well as administrators, superintendents, and cabinet members from all of the districts. And so the idea is to try to work together to advocate for different issues with education. We had a recent advocacy committee meeting and with a discussion on funding and increasing education funding and what that looks like. And obviously there's a lot of different opinions on the best avenue to get that money and the best way to fund education. and getting more money from the state, and as well as the fact that in Bucks County, we get back about 17 cents on the dollar when we send money, when we send money to the state and they give us money back. So definitely never a single right answer, but it's great to sit and have those discussions. And I think one of the things we're going to be talking about is charter school reform. I think is one of the topics that they're going to be looking at talking about in the future, as well as PSSAs. So important topics. There is $60 million available in funding to school districts for safety, and so that's something that each district should be applying for. The deadline to apply is October 12th, and just by applying, you're guaranteed to get $25,000, so that's a pretty good signing fee that you get. There was discussion of money. There's $52 million that are available, so we're not sure if that was overhead costs that dropped it from 60 to 52, because it started out as 60. There was discussion that they believe the legislature is going to be making a decision shortly regarding keystones, so it doesn't keep getting, the buck doesn't keep getting passed on from year to year to year. So they're hoping that that's actually going to be a final decision, so that we don't have to keep preparing for it and then it changing every year. So we'll see, but we don't know if that's positive or negative, so I don't know what direction it's going, just that they are hoping to make a decision on that. And another thing, the IU is working with all of our districts on a guidance plan. So they're working on a counseling plan and career prep plan for all of the districts. They're working hand in hand with our guidance department. So another great thing that the IU is working on. Next up is the Personnel Committee. Mrs. Walters.
All right, just a couple notes from our September 4th meeting. We discussed the requirements for teacher tenure and the names of 12 teachers being recommended. Dr. Bolton also discussed a provision in the support staff contract to allocate a pool of money to be used for